Hey, good morning from our boat works here. We're working on putting Viper's rudder and tiller back together after we did a little sanding, put a little wood stain, and then some varnish on it. We used Total Boat Gleam, their marine spar varnish. It's a satin finish. That's one coat, and we're happy with that. A lot of questions come up with how to get the springs back on, the going from the rudder cheek, the pin right there, over to the pin that's on the rudder. This is how the rudder would be sitting in the down position, and the tiller kind of notches in there. So just want you to get an idea how that's oriented. So one of the tricks we have, and one of the things you probably might want to know, is in this position, the spring is over a finger away from this rudder cheek pin right here. So you got to stretch it even further. If you take the rudder cheek and swing it up this way, I guess you could swim it if you wanted to, then that little capture in there, it's a lot closer, so you don't have to spring it as far. One of our tricks is to take a set of vice grips and clamp it with just enough pressure to hold that spring pretty firm. And you can have a brave friend hold the end of the rudder, or enlist the wall to hold it. And then it's easier with two hands, but I'll attempt to do it here with just one hand, video filming. Take the one end, put it on there, get the other end, and just stretch it out. It goes right over the pin there. Now when you're doing it, you don't want to stand behind the spring. You don't want to have anyone stand in front direction of the spring in case it goes shooting off somewhere. The other part of this rudder system is the pintle. It's a little pin that slides up and down with this spring to hold it in place. When it goes down, that allows this little notch here to be exposed, and that's what clips into the back part of the boat, the gudgeon sticking out the back part of the boat. So you should have a good spring. It's got a little washer on there that keeps the whole assembly from falling out. In this case, it's just a slip ring actually that's in a notch there. Some boats you'll see will also have a little cotter pin in that area. So push it down, slide it into the gudgeon. You see the top part here has a notch where the gudgeon goes in. I'm making up words today, I don't know what a notch is. And then when you let it go, it's back on the boat. You'll actually see these either way, with the spring pushing that way or turn around the upside down, spring pushing the other way. Works fine either way. And what we'll do next is get the spring on the other side, flip it over, and get the tiller hooked back up. The rudder cheek, and when I say rudder cheek, I'm talking about this metal piece right here. It's got a big plastic washer underneath, even bigger than this one. And these are the washers that go here underneath the tiller. That just helps everything move smoothly when you're pushing the tiller up and down. Here's the washers that go in between the rudder cheek and the rudder. Little tip, well, how do I keep those things from sliding around when I'm sliding this rudder cheek on? We just take a couple little strips of blue tape and get that washer in position and tape it down on both sides, and then we can slide the rudder cheek on and put the bolt through. It's actually a stainless machine screw, threaded, and then put a stop nut on this side. If you have a problem finding the right length, you might get a bolt that's too long. Once you get the nut on, you can take a little hacksaw or your reciprocating saw with the metal blade on it and trim that flush. You want to trim it with the nut on there, so that if there's any burrs left around the edge of that bolt afterwards, when you take this nut back off, it will rub all of those burrs down. If you trim just the bolt without the nut on it, you might have a hard time getting that nut threaded back on there. So we're going to get the tiller all installed back on the rudder, then get everything to go. Viper is available for purchase. If anyone's interested, you can check Craigslist Pensacola. We're asking $1,800 US. And she's a great boat, sails great, it's well balanced. We had a lot of fun putting her back together, and she's hanging out with Zip and Winnie and all the catfish and dabber parts right now. Waiting to head off to her new home and play in the waters, which won't be too cold for long. It'll be getting warm here again in Florida in just a few weeks. Hope y'all having a great day.